gonna write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Well, hello, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday, October 19th. Woo! Also, happy birthday to you if you are celebrating a birthday. Family, you know what we do as we get started. And if you don't, you know I'm going to tell you. What we do is we check in. So if you are joining us on our socials, let us know that you're out there. Send us a comment, send us a hello, or whatever kind of love you choose to share with us. You could even give us a call if you choose to do that, if you care to share some love verbally. You can do that by dialing 215-634 8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. You know what? I love the love, all the love that you all share. So I'm encouraging you because, I just like talking to y'all. For those of our family members whose hearts are just a little heavy today, or if your light is shining just a little dimly, just know that I'm sending you extra love and hugs, okay? I am sending extra love and hugs to you on behalf of your tribe and your village. Just know that you are not alone. I just want to let you know as well that, because I didn't mention Nick Steptoe, my illustrious show producer, and we love having you. We love having you join us, whether it's on our socials or by listening. We just love your company. We do. We do. So, family, I want to remind you of some things. The first is that Word Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming give back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com/the harvest and look for the harvest banner. It's harvest time, and we're sharing information on those giving back to the community. The harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I also want to remind you, family, that we need your support. We need the support of our community. Our Forward and Up campaign has an unprecedented goal for WURD Radio to recruit 2,000 members for the Forward movement. Now, I believe in WURD, and because you are listening, I know that you do too. So if you are not already a member of the Forward movement, now's the time. Go to wordradio.com and click membership at the top of the page and help us reach our goal of 2,000 members in our 20th year of Black Talk Media. See, I wanted to share some things. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. I do want to acknowledge our family member who is checking in. Hey there, Malcolm. Malcolm is joining us from West Mount Airy. Hey there, hey there. On this, I think Miss Kayla calls it Friday Junior. I think that's what she calls Thursday. Is that right, Nick? I think it's Friday Junior. But thank you for joining us on this Friday Junior. Now, don't you clown me today, Malcolm. Don't you do it, okay? My fur child, Malcolm, was clowning me yesterday because Chloe, she was vocal last night. But y'all know Chloe. Some days she is. Some days she's very vocal. My little fur baby, that is to whom I'm referring. And Malcolm was talking about me. Will Downing, well, hello there. Hello there, beloved. Our beloved Will Downing is checking in as well. And he shares that it's just sounding good. I love that. I love that. A harvest for the world. I know, right? I should have played the song. Oh man. But always happy to have you with us as well. You know we are. And Will, I just want to let our family members know that I did share the love with you that you've been receiving. Ron called yesterday and he shared that he heard you were under the weather. And I'm repeating because you're familiar. I sent you this message. But Ron, I want you to know that I did share your message with the one and only Will Downing. He said he heard you were under the weather and he just wanted to send you some love and some prayers of healing. So look at that. He's joining us tonight. So it worked, Ron. It worked. Thaddeus is joining us as well, and he's sending blessings to all of us. Thank you so much, Thaddeus. And Will Downing Singer says, thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. So, family, all right. I say, let's get started. Now, as you know, today is Thursday, and what we do on Thursdays is talk to Dr. Z. We call it Thursdays with Dr. Z around here. That's what we do. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, Dr. Z is Dr. Zenida Driver, who is the executive director for Sunrise Community of Pennsylvania. She is a lifelong student of human behavior and social interaction with well over 15 years of experience as an accomplished trainer, professional speaker, and supervisor in the field of human services. Family, I invite you to the conversation with Dr. Z. Well, hello there, beautiful.
Hello, Carol and everyone. How are you?
I won't complain. I will not complain. Okay, I will not. Oh, some more of our family members are checking in. Dr. Z, I want to share that Nicole P is checking in from Burbank, California, and is also sending love to everyone. We're sending love right back to you. Thank you so much, beautiful. And Brother Nasir is checking in as well, and he's sharing peace and blessings with everybody. Nasir, always happy to have you here. Always, always, always. And Thaddeus, we all love Dr. Z. He's sending you love. He's sending you love right there. So, Dr. Z, before we move further, one of our family members is joining us on the phone line. I believe we've got some love coming by way of phone line. So, hi there, family. Thank you so much for calling.
Well, peace and blessings, my sis. I'm coming with more love than all the hugs and all the other stuff that you have already sent out.
Well, we'll take it.
Well, I want to take a moment with you, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Well, you may not recall this, but when you and Will Dowling was talking on the phone before you did the midnight, you was going to do the midnight program that week. And when I spoke to him and kind of told him, about our relationship, and I had mentioned to him that that I will be joining you on your 12 o'clock program. And do you remember what Will said?
I do not. I'm sorry.
He said, there you go. You got your first person that's going to be on the line with you. You don't remember that. Okay.
I'm so mad at that. Well, listen, don't charge it to my heart. Charge it to my mind. Don't charge
Well,
it to my heart.
anyway, I am so glad because more than anything, you have been such a blessing to me. And I'm just thanking God that I know the many blessings that I have received from you. I know others have received it also. But I just wanted to just chime in to also speak about today's program on education, because what the world needs now is love, sweet love. But what we need more of is for our children to be educated. And the program today, I always want to give a shout out to my WURD family for always, knocking the ball out the park, because our children are in dire need of education, because our young, they just need that bridge to take them over. And you, my sis, I just don't know how I can just bless you for who you are and all that you do. I just want you to know you are simply, simply marvelous. So thank you for being you.
Tyrone, thank you. And I receive all the prayers, all the prayers. I accept all the love and all the prayers you can give.
And I am so sorry. Can I just give a little?
Oh, you're going in and out. I missed the question. You said, can you?
Oh, can I give a little shout out to my cousin, Yvette?
You go
I just left the hospital. I just left the hospital, and they kind of gave us some sad news that there's nothing else they can do for her. And she is just such a wonderful person that I know this is what the doctors are saying and the medical institution is saying. But I know God is going to say something too. So I'm just want to give my cousin Yvette, I love you. You're going to be all right, because you have truly been one of Earth's angels. I love you, Yvette. You're going to be all right. See, I love you for allowing me to share that and always to be me. Thank you, my love. Take care and God bless.
Thank you, Tyrone. You as well. And Yvette, we're sending healing prayers your way. And God always, 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 always has the final say. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. We do have another family member waiting to join us on our phone lines. Hello, and thank you for calling.
Hello, Cal and everyone. I want to take some time out to say to Dr. Z and Mr. Will, and the others will be included, but them two in particular. Dr. Z, how's your loved one doing, the one that you were taking care of when I spoke with you, when you left it on my answer machine? I hope she's doing well. And to Mr. Will and those people that, want to do a little something, I want to say these words. God be with you until we meet again. By his counsel, God will hold you, keep you in his arms securely folded until we meet again at Jesus' feet. And thank you for giving. You give your mother and the many others, the listening audience. That's what purpose is all about. Your music you have given to the world, sir, and many others. And because you're giving to the world. Because when you send out beautiful things, that's the beginning of the healing process. I hope you're getting better, Mr. Will. And I want to say this too. WURD, Cal mentioned it earlier. If you ever attended any WURD event, you will never, it will be something you would never forget. And we certainly hope that you will attend that and become a member. When we went out in the summertime in August, out there in August, if you just seen in the proximity of that corner there, where that building's going to be built at, the ore will always linger in that area there. This is where the human beings laid the infrastructure, the human infrastructure for this wonderful building. And let me tell you about WURD also. WURD is a family. It is a family. And look what WURD have given so much. They're not so dead serious on all the things that take place that rigor mortis have set in. And they're looking at growth and development, and those of us that are still living to bear witness to it. It is money well spent because you'll always have a family. And with WURD is so beautiful down through the years for people my age that can call in. What a wonderful comforter that you can be a part of that. So please consider becoming a member of WURD. Many others could give testimony what this station have done. Dr. Lomax, it used to be WBDD. It was dead air. Dr. Lomax took the resources and put these electronic wires together where we could call into headquarters what we're getting tonight and what we have gotten for 20 some years or more. The only station in Philadelphia that have ever, we had WHA, many other stations. This is what I'm saying with this. They have took this station and have been from an embryo now to a full-grown thing, and where people, all the whole concern is. And one other thing, WRD believe in diversity. We welcome all people. It is the content what we're concerned about. But Dr. Lomax realized the significance of us having a voice. And I'll close with this. Any time that his family came out of, they wasn't slaves. All people wasn't slaves. They were prisoners of every people lazy behind people that caused the slavery with them. But still, he could have went on off in the sunset and did something else. But what he said, I'm going to build infrastructure with people on my mind. All people, but all people. Because Dr. Lomax was a people's person that had so much. You can never pay enough for what Dr. Lomax and the family and Mr. Beverly and all the rest of them. So thank you very much. And remember this, God of the universe, whose purpose changes not. People change, but his purpose never changes. Thank you, everyone. Be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you. Thank you. Always, always, always for your love and for your encouragement and for your positivity. We appreciate you and we do love you. And I want to let you know that Will Downing is listening and he too expresses his gratitude. He says, thank you, Ron. He says he is on the mend. He's getting better. He is better. He's getting even better. And he shares preach, Ron, and be blessed as well. So I want you to know that he is returning the love that you shared to him. Sink Blue is sharing like a bridge over troubled waters. Just thinking. I love that song. I so love that song. And hi, Ty. Ty Collins is checking in. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the compliments as well. And look at you, Ty. Listen, if you get Will Downing and Jill Scott, then I'm right there. I am right there. Okay. He shares holla back. Ty Collins, that is, we're sending you love as well. Family, listen, if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. What we're going to do in just a moment is take a short break, but I want you to know that phone lines are still open. For those of you who need the number, I'm going to share it with you right now. That's 215-634-8065. Or you can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We're talking with Dr. Zenida Driver because on Thursdays, that's what we do. Thursdays are Thursdays with Dr. Z, just to be exact. Okay. Family, stay with us because in just a short moment, we will be right back.
This is Andrea Lawful Sanders, host of The Source, Monday through Fridays from 5 to 7 a.m. It is my absolute joy to invite you to join us for WURD's 20th anniversary celebration on November 10th, starting at 6 p.m. at the Fitner Club. You can find the tickets at wordradio.com/20th anniversary. I'll be there. I need you to join me. We will have live entertainment and dancing and talking about all the conversations around surviving and thriving for 20 plus years. You all know that is not an easy feat in Black Talk media, correct? And we're also going to talk about what the achievements are and the reasons why we have to celebrate. We could not have gotten to this point without all of you. And so we're asking you to join us November 10th, 6 p.m., Fitner Club. Tickets can be found on wordradio.com/20th anniversary. Mr. and I will see you there.
Bank of America is the proud employer of over 210,000 teammates who go above and beyond to support their clients' financial goals. Like Bruno, a Better Money Habits volunteer champion who helps debt feel less scary by giving clients tips and tools to tackle it little by little. For all your financial goals, we're here to listen and help. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/about. Bank of America NA, member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
High school students are invited to explore design as a career at the Design Vibe Festival coming to Philadelphia on October 20th. Register at diversityindesign.com.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to sleep at night, or a warm meal to eat, or whether anyone cares about them.
But the reality is, 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
But the good news is there's an organization making a big difference. Covenant House.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving them the support and the tools they need to succeed in life.
I have no words to express how Covenant House changed my life. They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, and love, most of all love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges, and their lives are transformed.
Covenant House is changing the lives of young people in cities across America.
To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
Words of empowerment.
Sophia Warren Moore. I'm a 4th generation editor and publisher of Positive Black News. The Black press is the voice of Black America. It's so important for us to have our own voices spoken from our own perspective and our own narratives. So that's really important for us to be able to have our own messages. I support WURD, their 20th anniversary. Absolutely. I think it takes a village. I think that's the biggest and best thing that I learned from our community, because it takes a community. And that's also for individuals, businesses, everything that you do. It takes a village. No one can do anything alone but God.
This is Words of Joy and Empowerment on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Audio provided by Love Now Media. These Words of Joy and Empowerment are brought to you by Keystone First and United Healthcare.
This is your celebration.
My name is Barbara Akins. WURD Radio. Happy anniversary.
Hey, everybody, it's Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis. I just wanted to come by and congratulate WURD on 20 years of Black excellence, Black joy, educating our community on the top issues and what they need to know. Cheers to 20 years, and I'm looking forward to 20 more.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. So, as I shared with you earlier, we have Dr. Z with us because it is Thursday, and that's what we do on Thursdays. So, Dr. Z, what are we talking about today?
Arrow, we are having a great conversation today about obsessive love disorder.
Uh-oh.
Obsessive love disorder. You think about love, right? Most people have a feeling of love. We love our family, we love our friends. Carol, we love our pets like our own, right? But the difference between that love and obsessive love is that obsessive love is an overwhelming feeling that a person has for someone else, that deals with obsession. So today I'm hoping we dive into that conversation and kind of break it down and all the layers that goes within it.
Okay, so when we say the word obsessive, now that word alone just feels intense to me. But what makes how do we determine if the attraction that one has for us or the attraction that we have for another is obsessive?
Great question. So, obsessive love disorder, or just the idea of obsessive love in general, is feelings of intense infatuation with a person, while love is rooted in mutual love and support and caring. So, when we talk about obsessive love disorder, we're talking about someone who's overly affectionate to the point of obsession with someone else. When we talk about love, it's I really like you. I feel a sense of connection with you. It's mutual. It's give and take, but it's not obsessive in nature.
Okay, so is obsessive like the person that wants to spend all of their time with you, wants to talk with you all the time, wants like your undivided attention all the time? That's obsession.
Obsession. Yep.
Okay.
Constantly controlling, possessive,
Oh, see.
overly protective. Those are some of those key points that separate just general love from obsessive love.
Okay, see now what because this is so tricky to me for me,
Mhm.
like determining when it becomes unnatural, when the attraction is, you know, obsessive, if you will. When the words that you just used and the way the words that I used sounded to me like two different things.
Mhm.
And it sounded like, you know, when someone wants to spend all of their time with you, they want your undivided attention, want to talk with you. And that sounds like a love language. They're just, you know,
Mhm.
very attentive, or
Mhm.
if you will, if you
Mhm.
will.
Mhm.
But what you said, the words you used,
Possessive,
possessive, control.
overly protective,
Yes. Okay.
controlling.
Yes. Now that
That's a different
makes
because what happens is when you're not able to do the love language that you just shared, spending time, interacting, calling, which is normal signs of a normal love language, that person becomes obsessive and controlling, and they don't handle rejection well. So we know sometimes in
see.
relationships we can't talk to our partner all that day, every day.
Right.
We can't be on the phone responding to texts, but the obsessive person who's struggling with this disorder feels like they have to do it. And if they don't do it and they don't hear from that person, it
Mhm.
triggers a part of them to sometimes become angry. And the most important part
Mm.
about it is they will go over boundaries that they should not cross.
Oh,
So they may
see.
pop up at your house, pop up at your job. They may do things that will get the attention that they want or that they're demanding, right? In spite of where you may be in that
Mhm.
moment in time. You may not be in a space to be able to do that. A healthy relationship will receive that. They will understand that. We'll
Right.
talk about that. An obsessive love language says, I don't care that you're doing those things. I want to talk to you and I want to talk to you now.
Oh no. Oh, excuse me. Well, like no, that's an absolute negative. A quick question. So, Nicole, she shares like a Lifetime
Like
movie.
a good
She,
Lifetime movie,
she,
Nicole.
she said, is that like love, or is it similar to love bombing?
So that's a great question. So love bombing goes under that term that we talked about last week and the week before, narcissism, right? That is a trait within narcissism. So the thing about obsessive love disorder, which is important to know, is that it's not a mental health diagnosis categorized by the DSM-5. You know how we talk about that every
Yeah,
week. We talk
listen.
about, you got it, Carol.
I feel like I need to have a DSM-5 here. Just listen.
Right?
We'll all love them.
Right. The DSM-5 will talk about obsessive compulsive disorder, which is
Mhm.
a diagnosis characterized within the DSM-5. However, obsessive love disorder can be a part of narcissism. It can be a part of obsessive compulsive disorder. It can be a byproduct of the actual diagnosis that they may be struggling with. So yes, it could be similar to love bombing, but the difference is love bombing and obsessive love disorder. Love bombing is I'm doing all the things to make you happy. I'm overwhelming you with love. Obsessive love disorder is I'm gonna do all the things that make you happy, and if you do not like it, I'm still gonna keep doing it, and I'm not gonna stop if you tell me to stop. So it's kind of the same thing, but it's just one step further in the process of love bombing.
Okay, that's intense.
It is intense. It is intense. It is intense.
Okay, so how do you suggest we navigate that if we are on the receiving end of an individual who has obsessive love disorder? How do we navigate that?
So the first thing, Carol, honestly, what happens, let me back up for a second.
Okay.
Sometimes when someone experiences excessive love disorder, they like it in the beginning. And here's why. Because if you've been someone who's been single for a while, you may not have had someone paying you attention. You may not have had that feeling, right?
Yeah.
That you used to. You're like, oh wow, this person really likes me.
Didn't I tell you about telling my business, Dr. Z? Didn't I tell you that?
That this person is really into me and I like this feeling. So sometimes people find themselves as victims to obsessive love disorder because it's meeting an unmet need that they have been longing for a while, until they wake up and realize and say, wow, this is a lot. Wow, you're really angry that I did not answer my phone. You know, some people think it's cute. You're upset because I didn't answer my phone. Sometimes people laugh about it and it becomes like a running joke. But this person is not just going to laugh it off. This person is going to become angry because you did not answer the phone. They're going to put rules in place. I expect you to answer the phone after the second ring, or text me to tell me why you cannot answer the phone or take my call at this time. That is the distinction between just falling in love and all of the nuances that comes with that, than falling in love with someone who is obsessive in nature when it comes to relationships.
Me too. Oh, my Lord. Listen, Dr. Z, I told you about telling my business, right? Now, that was OMG. I did have that experience with someone in whom I had an interest, and it was traumatic for me. It really was, because like you said, in the beginning, it was wonderful. It was a whirlwind romance, but then it was, wait, what now? What did you say? Are you really upset? Like, it was a whole lot. It was a whole lot to navigate. And then it was dangerous. It was a whole nother thing. I do want to share, though, our family members are checking in, because y'all know me. I'm very transparent. But Raphael is checking in. Hi there. He's sending a good evening to everybody. Hi there, Raphael. And Malcolm shares, that's pretty creepy. It is, Malcolm. Trust me, it is. Okay, believe me when I tell you. He also shares that he has to renew his membership. Malcolm, you better. What? You better. And Harold is checking in as well. He's saying hello to everybody. He shares excessive in nature, and I am running. I listen, Harold, that's what I had to do. Okay. I had to run. So I'm curious to know, because I did not bother to do any research at the time when I was dealing with it. I was too busy running. What causes that? What causes that obsessive love disorder?
So, Carol, there's so many layers to it. I'm going to try my best to unpack it all, right, without overwhelming you and our listeners. But some of the causes that can lead to someone struggling with obsessive love disorder could be neglect, childhood neglect. And the reason is because they did not receive a healthy sense of love and attachment at a very young age. And so now when they connect with someone else, they're going to control the relationship as much as they can so that they never lose that relationship again in their mind, right? It's not guaranteed that that person is going to stay, but in their mind, they're going to say, listen, if I control it, and if I can keep this person, in my hands and under my spell, if I can say, then they won't leave me like someone did when I was younger and when I was a child. So childhood neglect is really a big part of it. Low self-esteem, just not being comfortable with who you are, feeling like I have to be connected to someone else to feel loved, to feel validated. Oftentimes, when we have low self-esteem, it causes us to also allow people to overstep boundaries. Why? Because we want connection. And sometimes that connection helps us feel good. So low self-esteem is a part of it. We also have a couple of the personality disorders. The one particular one is borderline personality disorder. This causes a person to just struggle with difficulties in their own emotions. So sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. They become, happy in one moment. They become angry or sad in another moment. So this often leads to them having unstable behaviors in relationships. So when they're at their high point, they may be obsessive in nature, but when they're at their low point, they may be overwhelmed and controlling and everything that you would not want to experience when you're in a relationship, right?
Right.
There is a term, and I had to look it up a little bit for myself, to be honest, right? It's called erotomania. Erotomania. I hope I'm not butchering it, but it's erotomania, and it's a rare delusional disorder which causes a person to believe that a specific person is their destiny.
Oh my Lord. What?
It causes them. I was like, this is interesting. I mean, I knew all the other ones, but this term, I was like, this is good stuff here. I didn't know about this. And so this person makes up in their mind that this is their divine purpose, their connection. This is who they are set to be with, and they believe it. It doesn't leave their mind, right? It causes them to have intense feelings of delusional behavior, thoughts, actions, all the things. Erotomania.
What? Okay, let me gather myself and read some comments from our family members. Heather is saying hello. She's sharing some love. Hi, beautiful. Thank you for joining us. Nicole shares, I'm already overwhelmed, Dr. Z.
I
And
warned
she
you.
shares,
I warned you.
she shares, uh-oh. And Thaddeus says, now, wow, that is deep.
Yes.
I'm with all of you on that. You hear
Yes.
me? How do you just convince yourself that someone is your person and act on it? That oh my goodness. Frey says, hey Frey, hey beautiful. She shares, that sounds like a stalker. And wait, and then Thaddeus shares, you, the doctor, is explaining those Lifetime movies. That's what she's doing.
And I mean, you always tell your business, Carol. Let me tell I love Lifetime. I don't know. I love Lifetime. Like, if you were to come to my house at any given day, Lifetime is on the TV. Everyone close to me knows I love a good Lifetime movie. And this is probably why, because in my mind, I'm diagnosing the characters.
I was about to, okay. Look at you doing studies. You're watching Lifetime doing character studies. That's what's happening.
Yes.
But all you have to do is talk to me. I've got enough material
to tell.
I have enough stories, okay? I have enough life experiences. And Heather shares, this is some serious information. But it is. So, okay. It's possible for a person to have a combination of the two, of obsessive love disorder and I did not retain the name of the term that you just mentioned.
Erotomania.
Is it erotomania?
Erotomania.
Erotomania. Okay. It's possible for a person to have a combination of those two.
So erotomania shows up in relationships as obsessive love disorder. So a person who struggles with that is delusional. They create false realities in general. But not only do they create false delusional realities in general, they create it within their relationships as well. So in their mind, before you have probably sealed the deal and say that we are in the relationship or we're taking it to the next step, in their mind, they have already taken it there. You are already their person.
Oh, that does sound like a stalker.
It does.
I'm with Frey. That sounds like a stalker.
It does. But we want to think about it. It sounds overwhelming as I'm saying it. But if we're not careful, some of this stuff happens in smaller doses over time, and we don't realize that it's happening, right? So, for example, I was talking to someone and they were like, oh, this individual just popped up at my home. Me, being Dr. Z, said, but they thought that it was cute. They were like, oh, does he missed me? Or because this person didn't talk to me.
No.
And I know while I was talking to this individual, that's their story, but I know other people have similar moments because in their mind, they may have been single, or this person is doing all the things, meeting all the unmet needs, and they're not seeing that this is a red flag. This is looking obsessive in nature. This person is overstepping boundaries that you did not give them permission to overstep. Right. The way you test it is to push back on those boundaries, put those boundaries in place, right? Please do not come to my home. I will not always respond to your messages. If they buck back with anger, in the words of my son, Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah. See, first of all, the problem is that you showed up at my home. That family, listen, if you've just tuned in, you're tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick. And we're talking with Dr. Z because that's what we do on Thursdays. Thursdays with Dr. Z. We're going to take just a short commercial break, but stay with us, okay? Because we're definitely coming right back.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But what about after? What's your routine for facial hair to avoid dry skin, itching, and beard rough? Well, the King C. Gillette Beard Oil is a perfect fit for making your beard feel as good as it looks. It softens your facial hair and moisturizes to help prevent itch due to dry skin. Get facial hair that feels as good as it looks. Just trim, wash, and soften with King C. Gillette.
Here's what you missed on Wake Up with WURD.
Joining us now, actor and comedian Chris Tucker. Now, I love the Rush Hour movies, man. So tell me about learning enough martial arts to do those Rush Hour movies.
Man, let me tell you something. You working with the great Jackie Chan, you ain't got to know much because Jackie pretty much just swung me around, and made me look like I knew some martial arts. And I was nervous about that because I was in shape, but I said, man, I ain't going to learn this stuff in those 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. And Jackie just knew he had a team of guys, and they choreographed all the fight scenes, man, and made it easy for me. So it was great.
Tune in to Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and here's some information from the Centers for Disease Control on breast cancer in men. Did you know that 1 out of every 100 breast cancer diagnoses in the United States is found in a man? Fellas, here's some things you need to know. The warning signs to look out for are a lump or swelling, redness or flaky skin, irritation or dimpling of the breast skin, pulling in or discharge, or any pain in the nipple area. It is important to note that these symptoms can occur for reasons other than cancer. That's why it's important to schedule an appointment and share these symptoms with your doctor. Now, the risk factors for breast cancer in men are similar to the risk factors for women, including genetic mutations, getting older, family history of breast cancer, overweight and obesity, and liver disease. Cirrhosis of the liver can lower androgen levels and raise estrogen levels, increasing the risk for breast cancer. So this October, be proactive. Visit your doctor and tune into WURD Radio for more information on breast health. This breast cancer awareness vignette was brought to you by Keystone First. It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Evening Words.
One of the plays was about military PTSD when it pertains to women, because they're definitely not talking about that.
Yeah.
We always hear from men, but we do not hear about what women go through. And we actually have extra factors in most cases added on to what men even go through.
Yeah.
And it needs to be talked about more. Another one in the plays, it's Not My Fault. And that one, one is the standing up to the blame culture when it pertains to rape and molestation and about unreported cases. And times when we're made to shut up and not say anything about it and keep quiet, and or things that are normalized. We talk about it in terms of both men and women, and certain things are either normalized or you just don't talk about it.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Evening Words on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
And we are back. Hey there, family. Welcome back to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Zenida Driver, and we're talking about a few things, okay? A few things. I know some of you have some comments and some questions, and I want to let you know that you can share those with us. You can do so by sharing them on our socials, but you can also call us, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. And I'm gonna tell you, I can't help you. Dr. Z will be the one to help you in this regard, because y'all hear me telling all of my business. But to that point, Nick, our beloved Nick, our illustrious show producer Nick, is joining the conversation as well. Hey there, Nick.
Hey, Carol. Hey, Dr. Z. How you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was listening to what you guys were talking about, and especially about the parts about, a guy showing up to a person's house, a woman that they're interested in. And I just want to say thank goodness I have female friends, because I hear stories like that and they tell it from their perspectives, and I go, oh my God, that is that is kind of terrifying. As a guy, you're just like, well, I'll just do this thing, and you don't realize how crazy you look. So I've heard my share of funny stories like that from my friends. But I did have a question about what you were talking about with this person who has this intense love for somebody to the point where it's like it's a mental issue for them. I was wondering exactly, how are you supposed to wean a person like that off of this person that they love? How do you get them to look at other options, especially if they are the ones who are being I guess the aggressor in that relationship?
So, Nick, are you asking how do we help the person who's struggling with obsessive love disorder stop?
Yes.
Great question. So first and foremost, everything starts with therapy. I am a big advocate for therapy, all things therapy, right? But let's just say that is not the case. The first thing that individual has to do is begin to understand what is the root cause of this obsessive love, right? Because everyone wants to feel love. Everybody wants connection, but to be obsessed with it has an underlining meaning. And the first thing that person has to do is figure out, where is this coming from? Was there something in my childhood that I didn't get and I'm longing for that in a connection with someone else? Is there a relationship that went bad and went sour and I will never allow that to happen again? So now I am overly investing myself to the point of obsession in someone else. We got to get to the root of it. That is the first step. The second thing is, if that person is obsessed with them, they would need to implement a no contact policy for themselves, meaning they would have to find someone probably to help hold them accountable that they trust, and then also be willing to be held accountable, number one, and don't contact that person if they are trying to wean themselves off. Because falling in love with someone to the point of obsession isn't healthy, even if you're in love, right? And the problem here is that the person won't know whether it's just feelings of love or obsessive love because they've been doing it for so long. So they first have to really work on themselves to identify what's happening. I have to realize that, like you just said, that pulling up to someone's house in my head, I may not have obsessive love disorder. I just may have thought that was okay. But do I do that in every relationship? Am I always calling nonstop? Am I always texting nonstop? I have to identify it and try to stop the behavior as much as I can. And do their best to stay busy, right? Implement a schedule for yourself that you're not overly invested in the life of someone else to the point that it feels obsessive in nature. So there would be like lots of steps that the person would have to put into place. But the biggest part of that, if the person is struggling with obsessive love disorder, is finding out why. What has happened? Something has happened in your life that made you struggle with disorder, or you're struggling with something from a mental health perspective that is either diagnosed or undiagnosed, and we need to look at that as well.
Well, you know what, Nick, that made me think when you were saying like, and that has to be kind of hard too from a male's point of view. If he's thinking, well, I really like this girl, I really like this woman, and I want to do something nice for her. In his mind, the gesture of popping up, maybe even bringing flowers or what have you, that I could see how that might feel or seem innocent. Now, I never thought of it from the other side. I never thought of it from the other, the other perspective, but that it does seem innocent. But if you don't have that invitation to that person's space.
And I want to say to that, because I'm sure people do it, right? That happens. And it may be popping up as a surprise or just doing something out of a gesture of love. That is totally different than intense feelings of infatuation. That's different. It's like, I have to do it. If I don't do it, I'm going to be upset. I need to see this person. I need to call them. That is the difference. So you have to do a heart check. Why am I doing this pop-up?
And you know what, to that point, Dr. Z, that's true, because like Nick, like you were saying, like some guys will say, well, I just thought that would be nice to just pop up or, say, hey, or let her know I was thinking of her or what have you. But you're absolutely right about doing a heart check, because depending on the two people that are in the relationship, she may be receptive. She might think that's cute, or she might enjoy that, might want that. She might encourage that or love that even. But if you do that heart check and she's, this typically people who do that, and well, it's been my experience. Let me say that. Let me shut up and let me rewind and say it's been my experience that typically a person that has done that to me has been someone that I have already said, I've already made it clear that I don't want their advances or their attention, and they'll pop up.
And if we think about it, going back to Nick's point, if you're popping up in my job with flowers in lunch, oh, that's cute, right? That's the new phases of love, and maybe even the continuation of love, right? But if I'm popping up because you didn't answer my call this morning, and now that protective nature kicked in, and now I'm like, I think something happened, and now I'm popping up at your job with lunch though to make sure you're okay. That's obsessive in nature. So there's two different extremes here that we have to keep in mind, because some people like pop-ups, some people love surprises, but you also have to gauge your partner. If you did it one time and they're not okay with it, if you continue to overstep that boundary, you may have some struggles going on that we need to figure out why.
Oh, family. Oh, if you have just joined us, let me make you aware that you are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Zenida Driver because it's Thursday, and that's what we do on Thursdays. Thursday with Dr. Z. I just want to say hello to Pepper Thomas, who is checking in. Hey there, beautiful. She's my beloved. Hey, my boop. She says, hello, everyone. She says she missed the subject, but we're talking about obsessive love disorder. That's what we are talking about. And Harold shares, get your permit to carry. Wait now. Wait, Harold. Wait, let's talk about that. Okay, let's talk about that. Nicole has a question. What if both people are obsessed with each other? Oh, Dr. Z, I definitely want to hear your response to that after this commercial break. And Ms. Lily is checking in as well, and she's sharing good evening with everybody. I'm going to hold that question. We're going to come back to it after this commercial break. Actually, we've got a second or two, don't we? No, how about that? We'll go to commercial break right now. Stay with us, family, because we're coming right back.
Meet Amanda. She loves to start her day by heading to her favorite coffee shop.
Morning, Amanda. Black coffee, no sugar.
Then, she usually takes the long way to share a little treat with Coco, Mrs. Lopez's little terrier. And when Amanda arrives to open the Keystone First Wellness and Opportunity Center, Mr. Freeman is always there.
You always on time, Amanda.
Always on time, Mr. Freeman.
Amanda has been a community health educator at Keystone First for over 15 years. She knows this community as well as the community knows her. As a local health plan, we don't only take care of members. For over 35 years, we have known them as neighbors, friends, and family. As Southeastern Pennsylvania's largest medical assistance managed care health plan, our roots run deep. Visit KeystoneFirstPA.com to learn how we can help you get care and stay well.
Billboard charting quartet Sons of Serendip won the hearts of fans and judges on America's Got Talent with stirring interpretations of pop music. Don't miss Sons of Serendip November 2nd at the Grand in Wilmington. For tickets, call 302-652-5577 or visit thegrandwilmington.org.
Why is WURD important to the community?
It's important that there's someone from the community that's authentically talking about the problems and all the steps that need to be taken to get to a better place.
And it gives them a platform and an opportunity to share their expertise and love of the culture.
And it's critically important that people have an opportunity to speak, and it's even more important that people have an opportunity to be heard.
WURD is the community and of the community.
WURD serves as the voice for the community.
Gives a sense of connectedness among people who aren't necessarily in front of each other physically, but they feel and connect with each other over the air.
I'm so glad they're coming to Mantua.
It's in the name. WURD is the word. WURD gets the word out to the community. WURD connects the community. WURD empowers the community. WURD embraces the community.
We are 20 years strong, giving voice to the community, and without the community, there will be no WURD. We are one and the same, and it is not a game. WURD.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, compassion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improving. What a way to live, and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
And now,
in the midst of challenging times, our Black spaces, our voices, and our stories are under attack. Our goal? To reach 2,000 members by the end of the year. We need your support now more than ever. WURD Radio has been your trusted source for Black talk media for 20 years, and we want to continue making history for another 20. This is urgent, and the time to act is now. Help us move forward and up to reach our goal. Visit WURDradio.com and join the movement. Let's stand together. Let's make a difference. Go to WURDradio.com and become a member today. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey, family, welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life right here on WURD. We're talking about obsessive love disorder. We're talking about a few things under that umbrella as well, and a few things associated with obsessive love disorder, or OLD, as I read that it is sometimes referred to as. Before the break, Nicole P. had a question, and her question was, what if both people are obsessed with each other? Oh, now that sounds, Lord. Okay.
And that sounds like Lifetime in itself.
It does.
But the thing about love is there are no rules with within the relationship if both of them make the rules together, right? So
Right.
if it works for the couple, then it works. And who am I or anyone else to tell them how to navigate love within their relationship? But on the contrast of that, one thing we do know in all relationships, you need space, you need your own personal time, you need healthy boundaries. When we talk about obsessive love disorder, there are very little, close to no boundaries. There is no space. Everything is consumed about the other person and vice versa. So I'm not really sure how that will be healthy over a continuation of time. In the beginning, it might be fun and cute, but I will wonder 5 years, 6 years, 10 years of obsessive love with another person. Will that obsessive love become toxic love, argumentative love, controlling love,
Ooh.
love that does not feel good because neither one of the people involved in this relationship is giving each other space. We all need space in relationships.
Right. Oh,
Some type of space, whatever space looks
yeah.
like. We
Yeah,
all need.
that's so tricky. Having that, I've had to have that conversation before about space. That's a tricky conversation because, as you know, we love differently, number one, but we're just different individuals.
Mhm.
And although we all need space, it looks different for different people.
Mhm.
It just looks different for everybody. I do want to share that Nicole said, I know that's right, Harold. Now, Harold, I said we were going to come back to your statement. Harold, I don't want you out here using obsessive force. You know, somebody might listen. She might just want your attention. Harold said, get that permit to carry. Listen, Harold. Harold is saying, okay, there's some more measures, some more intense measures that need to be taken. Harold, we gonna talk. We gonna talk, Harold. Cheryl is joining us as well, and she sends a good evening, fam. Tim is joining us. Hey, Tim. Timothy. He shares hello. And Cheryl shares the word obsessive is a problem. Yes, that's what I said. She shares it sounds unhealthy. That's what I said. Cheryl, I said the same thing. I said the word obsessive sounds intense to me. It just feels intense to me. And Tim says, I get it. But what happens with consistency? If you start out that way and then things change, now someone is thought to be cheating. Dr. Z, any response to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why healthy love is important because we know that all relationships go through changes, right? Seasons. We become different people. We like different things. You know, I had someone who said they never liked flowers when they first started dating, but years later they started to love flowers. So we change over time. So if I am in a healthy relationship and it's give and take, and you're learning me as I'm learning you, not that I'm controlling you, you will understand that, yes, I'm changing, but the change is not necessarily a bad thing. But if I am in a relationship with someone who's obsessive, when I change, that change will become a bad thing because now I have to control. What are you doing? I send you flowers every week. Now you don't want flowers. This is not okay, right? It's that controlling nature that dominates the relationship.
That's when communication comes into play too, right? If especially if, like Tim said, you know, about consistency, if things change, then that means one individual in that relationship or scenario has changed. Then I guess communication, there's a conversation that needs to take place so that you're on the same page. That makes sense. That makes sense. So Harold shares that they make TV shows about the people Dr. Z is talking about. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do. So, Dr. Z, what kind of role does codependency play in obsessive love disorder?
Right. Great question. So codependency typically stems from some type of history of neglect, some type of abandonment, some type of abuse that has happened in an individual's life. So from those childhood experiences or those early stages of trauma, that can lead to a person having a difficult ability to develop healthy relationships. And then in turn, they become addicted to the idea of love because I've never had love, right? I was abandoned at some part of my life, but I want to feel it. So I want to experience it, so I control it. I will do anything I can, as we talked about previously when we talked about codependency. I will do whatever I can to make this person feel good. So I won't take care of my own needs. I will not, get my own hair done to make sure they get their hair done. I will now lose myself to please someone else. But when we connect it to obsessive love disorder, the difference is I'm doing it while still controlling you in the process. So I have an unmet need. I didn't get my need met for quite a while, but now I want to be loved. So the only way I know to give love is to die to myself in a way that is obsessive in nature, to do whatever it is that you want me to do, so that you will stay with me for the long haul.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Oh. See, that sounds like so much. So okay, if you're in a relationship with this individual and it's feeling overbearing, or the attention that they're giving to you feels overbearing, or it's too much, how do you manage that? What do you do?
So who was it? Harold made the comment. I'm not saying you got to go as far as Harold said, right?
Oh, that was it.
You want to have the hard conversation, right?
Okay.
Depending on how intense this obsessive love is for that person, the conversation can go left, or it could just be a conversation that's understood. But it is 9 times out of 10 safe to say that person won't stop loving you the way they feel like you want to be loved in their mind. They're going to keep doing it. Now, you have to be mindful of putting in boundaries in place. You have to maybe block them from your socials. You may have to block them from your text messages and calls, because they're not going to stop on their own.
Oh my Lord. Oh, so Tim shares, they made a lot of movies. He shares, what was that movie when the lady boiled the kid's bunny rabbit? I think that was Fatal Attraction. I think that's what that was. He shares, yeah, that was obsessive. Well, now in Fatal Attraction, let's take that for example. And I can't think of her name right now. I'm so mad. I could see her face, but the one who boiled the rabbit, the disorder that you shared, that you said is sometimes coupled with obsessive love disorder, when you have this, you create this scenario, this whole
erotomania.
Yes, erotomania. I don't know why that won't stay with me, but erotomania, is that a sign, or the behavior, I should say.
Yep.
That's when it's more than just obsessive love disorder. That's when it's because she created this whole scenario.
Yep. So that's how that starts is, in my mind, I have already put us together. In my mind, we are already a couple. That's the erotomania. Now, maybe we make it official, or maybe we don't. I then start to engage in obsessive love behavior, because in my head, we are in a relationship. You are my person, and I am going to do, that's the codependent part, whatever I can to make you happy, even if it feels overwhelming for you. I'm going to keep doing it because it makes me feel good doing this for you, and I think you deserve it. I think you like it, and I don't stop. So it's an up and down roller coaster. But at the sum of it, at the root of it, it's really about some struggle that this person has, that they are obsessed with this idea of love.
But it's actually, it can be challenging. It can be very challenging trying to navigate, or trying to even communicate with an individual who has this, and trying to have them understand your point of view or what you're saying. I had a guy, I used to see him all the time, and I would ask him, I would say, you better make sure you're wearing your scarf because it gets cold out here, or things like that. Or how come you don't have a jacket on today? Or where's your sweater? And he said he was telling people we were together because I cared, because I keep saying, no, oh no, we're together. No, wait now, wait. Now, unbeknownst to me, I did not know. But he was sharing this with other people because he said, well, wait a minute, but I thought you liked me because you always cared. You always, demonstrated that you cared about me. So I thought that we were a couple.
He in his mind, y'all were already together. There was some behavior that was important for him, an unmet need. You fulfilled it. So as a result, in my mind, we're together. And now next comes the obsessive love disorder, the love bombing. Which is why, and this is so important, that when we go into relationships, we have to know ourselves. We have to know what those needs are that we're longing for in ourselves, so that we can actually see clearly what's happening. Because if we're not aware of our own unmet needs, and then someone shows up and just overwhelms us with those unmet needs, that can be blinding. We cannot clearly see sometimes the other red flags, because clearly this is a red flag, because we are so happy that this unmet need is now being met. We are so happy that we have a connection that feels like someone cares, even if it feels obsessive at times. We have to know ourselves. We have to know what we bring, what we don't have, what we're yearning for, so that we can keep our eyes wide open in that dating process.
Great. I think it's time we go to our phone lines. One of our family members has been waiting to talk with us. Hello, and thank you for calling.
Hi, Carol. Spring.
Hi, Fred. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I just want to read this. It's short. I already read it before, but it's like a love song and a love story. When I say, I think about the good times, the things we used to do, and the places we used to go, and everything was so mellow. It was so nice and true love we shared, and we used to care for one another. So don't start caring for one another, because it's visions of love of what will be. That's what I had to share.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Always, always. Friendly Fred always shares love with us. I just love it. I really do. Thank you again. I'm going to go back to our socials for a moment, because family, I see you commenting. Tim shares she was crazy. No, that wasn't Meryl Streep. That was Glenn Close. Meryl wasn't in that movie. She wasn't in. That was Glenn Close. That's who that was. Who in Fatal Attraction. And oh, look, there he is. Pastor Daniel Black is joining us. Pastor, you know I look for you. You know I do. I said, where is Pastor? Pastor Daniel Black is joining us, family. He's sending a good evening to everybody. And you know who that is. That's Pastor Daniel Black of Gospel Temple Baptist Church in South Philly, sending us love that we receive. Thank you so much. Cheryl is commenting as well, and she shares, now see, that's why folks need to grow up before getting into a relationship. Control and selfishness are unacceptable. Some folks just want their way. They really don't love you. Cheryl, oh, girl, you're telling all my business, And Tim shares, right, you showed him you cared. I did, but you know what, going back to the story that I shared, family, in case you just joined us. But I thought it was harmless, because that's just who I am. If I see you, all the time, and we develop a rapport with, hey, then I'm going to check on you. I'm going to say, wait now, what's going on here? You see how cold it is out here? Why don't you have a jacket on? Or why don't you have a coat? Where's your sweater? I'm going to do that, because I would want you to look out for me too. I would want you to do that. And I did not realize how my energy was being interpreted. I had no clue how he was interpreting my energy and my caring. And Harold, Harold, you know what, Harold? I'm going to beat you with a wet noodle. Harold says, we're together. We're together. I don't care what you say. We're together. And Malcolm shares the flick Fatal Attraction is a good example. Now, see, I'm used to Malcolm picking with me. It's you tonight, Harold. But Malcolm shares, yeah, Fatal Attraction. It really, really, really was. Frey shares, it sounds like the movie Perfect Guy with Michael Ealy. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sanaa Lathan and Morris Chestnut. Most recent, yeah, that was just a few years ago, right, y'all? I remember that. That was a really, really good movie. And Thaddeus shares, greetings, Pastor. You see that, Pastor? Getting all the love. That's what I'm talking about. And Nicole shares, Cheryl, you better preach. You better preach. Tim shares, maybe he had some mommy issues. Maybe he did. And Miss Shirley, hey there, Shirley. She's sending love. She's joining the conversation. She says, "Good evening, everyone." So, could that be a possibility that really?
That was a great response from Timothy, because attachment disorder is a big part of what leads to obsessive love disorder as well. So attachment disorder is really the idea that early in my stages of development in my childhood, there was an unmet need, my unsecure attachment, we call it, where there was not a parent or guardian that loved me consistently the way I needed to be loved, showed up for me when I needed them to show up. So in turn, I grew up always yearning for something. So Carol, here you come, being the nice woman that you are, being caring in nature, now showing up potentially in that quote unquote mommy role, making him feel good. And so now I think that was Harold that said, we're together. We're together, erotomania. In my mind, we're together, Carol, because maybe when I was younger, my mom didn't care if I had a jacket on. She didn't care if I ate when I came home. But now Carol comes along and she does care. She is making sure I have a jacket on. She really loves me, and I love her too.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And Tim shares, could you imagine if you fixed his clothes? Well, I did. That was part of the problem. No, I did. I did. Oh, Pastor is commenting, and he shares blessings on you, family. And he also shares love others as you love yourself. Pastor, that's what I said. My mother, that was my mother, Marcine Riddick. My mother, that was her. That was always, always, always. That was my mother. I got that from my mother. I know.
And that's a great rule of thumb, right? That is a great rule of thumb. Love others as you love yourself. But understand, you got to be careful sometimes how you love people in their broken spaces, because if I love you to help you and you receive that in a healthy way, that's a great thing. But if I love you to help you and now you're obsessed with me, I got to be careful how I'm distributing this love out right now, because now, according to Harold, I may need a permit to carry, right? Because now you're obsessively stalking me, coming to my job, doing things that I don't want you to do, overstepping boundaries that you have no permission to overstep. So it goes back to, I know one of the callers said, we have to be mature and keep our eyes open when we go into these relationships, so we can know what is really love and what's infatuation and what is obsessiveness in nature. We need to be able to make some distinguishes as early as possible and as much as possible.
It was that brokenness that was never discussed with me, and that also I had never taken into consideration. And because I'm Miss Fix It, I'm like, no, we're gonna make it better. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna get. What syndrome is that? Because
that is called the writing reflex, Carol. The desire to fix what seems broken about a person in order to prompt them on a better path for success. That is what you did, Carol. And the writing reflex is helpful in some cases, but in this scenario that we're discussing today, it's not helpful.
It is never helpful. Here, take it from me. It is never helpful.
Not helpful.
Never helpful. Oh my goodness, family. Hey there. I'm talking to you. If you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, yours truly, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking about obsessive love disorder, and we're talking about something else that I still have not committed to memory. There's another disorder that Dr. Z she shared with us that I don't know why I won't hold on to, but we're talking about that too. She's going to say it again. She is.
Erotomania.
The erotomania is there. You see, thank you, Dr. Z. Thank you. We've been talking about that too. And if you don't know what that is, then guess what? We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to continue talking about all of that so that you do know. In a moment, though, we're going to take just a short commercial break so that we can all digest the information that Dr. Z has been sharing with us. Y'all, this is a lot. It is a lot. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to ask you all, has anyone ever been in a relationship with anyone that displays some of these symptoms or behaviors of obsessive love disorder or erotomania? Shut up, but keep talking. I got it right. Or erotomania. I'm curious to know. I am so curious to know if you have and how you navigated it. How did you handle it? How did you now Harold, I don't now be easy. Be easy, Harold. But I do want to know how you handled that relationship or those relationships if in fact you did have some experience with they're both disorders, right?
Erotomania is it
Is a
is.
condition?
Yes, it's a condition.
It's a condition. Okay. I'm curious to know if you've had experience with either the condition of erotomania or the disorder of obsessive love disorder. For those who are familiar, for those who are not, stay with us, okay? Because we're going to talk some more about it and you'll know when we come back. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Joanne Bell of Black Women's Leadership Council asking you to join us in celebration of WURD's 20th anniversary at the Fitler Club on November 10th. For more information, please go to wordradio.com. I hope to see you there. I'll be there too.
WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
Like anything else in life, technology has an expiration date. Smartphone hardware gets old and starts to break down, and software becomes harder to keep updated. After a while, not updating your device or your software can cause functional issues like slower speeds and crashing apps or websites, and security issues that can leave your technology open to hackers as well. But how do you know when it's finally time to make that upgrade? Head to endoflife.date to search for your device or software. Find out what latest version exists, if your version has been discontinued, and if there is still support for the gadget you own or the software you're currently using. While your devices and software should still work past their end-of-life date, check out endoflife.date so you won't be unprotected and you won't sacrifice productivity either. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
If you're a woman, talk to your doctor by age 25 about your risk of getting breast cancer. More women under 40 are getting breast cancer, and these cancers are often more deadly. The American College of Radiology recommends you ask your doctor if you should get a mammogram before age 40, need other tests like an MRI with your yearly mammogram, or if at high risk should be checked more than once a year. For more information, visit mammographysaves.lives.org.
And now,
in the midst of challenging times, our Black spaces, our voices, and our stories are under attack. Our goal? To reach 2,000 members by the end of the year. We need your support now more than ever. WURD Radio has been your trusted source for Black talk media for 20 years, and we want to continue making history for another 20. This is urgent, and the time to act is now. Help us move forward and up to reach our goal. Visit wordradio.com and join the movement. Let's stand together. Let's make a difference. Go to wordradio.com and become a member today.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick. I was sharing with you all just prior to the break an invitation to join the conversation. But what I did not do was tell you how you could do so. For those of you who are unaware, you can join the conversation by commenting on our socials, or you could even give us a call. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. And you can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. 100. I was asking just before the break if any of you had any experience with obsessive love disorder or nope, the condition about which Dr. Z spoke that does not stay with me. What is it called? Oh, wait. Wait, one more. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Wait.
Erotomania.
Why I don't know why I won't hold on to this. In the meantime, I'm going to go to our socials. Malcolm shares. Now, the boiling of house pets is usually a red flag. I would say so too. Yes, Malcolm. I would say so too. Listen, I'm having you 302'd. If it even gets to that, because let me tell you something. You all know, you hear me talk about my fur child. You know, my child is my child. You hear me talk about my fur baby. You come near her. Okay. That's near her. It's going down. And Nicole shares, yes, someone kept showing up at my job with roses every hour on the hour. She shares, I hate roses to this day. Wow. Joey Dixon shares peace, word family, one love, and jazz to you. And Timothy is clowning me. Y'all better, you know what? He says, yes, write it down. Write that word down. That's what I'm going to do. I am, Tim. I'm going to write it down. In the meantime, Nicole is joining us on our phone lines. Hello, and thank you for calling.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Dr. Z.
Hello. Thank you for calling.
Sure. I had to jump off YouTube and call in because I have to explain this flowers scenario, and it's happened to me twice. So the first one, the guy showed up every hour on the hour with red roses. And everyone at my job was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. That's so wonderful. I barely knew this guy and didn't even know how he knew where I worked. So it was pretty like awkward. And like I recognized him, but I did not know him. So, and we never even got a chance to discuss it because I had to have security kind of stop it. But I don't even know what category that will fall under.
Obsessive love disorder / erotomania.
I got it. Okay.
Wow. So what how did you what did you do? How did you handle it? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh no, sure. No, I had to get security. I had to get security to stop it because literally I think it was from 9:30 in the morning until like mid-afternoon. And I, would come back to my desk or get called at the front desk. And it was another dozen roses. And while everyone thought it was like super sweet and, oh, this is wonderful, like I was scared out of my mind, why is this guy doing this? So, that's pretty creepy. And then I dated someone that would bring flowers, like ask me for my address, my work address to bring flowers. But it was really just to scope out, like where I was. And so I had to cut that short too.
Oh,
I don't know what it is with the obsession and the flowers, but yeah, it triggers me every time now.
I bet.
Definitely some symptoms of that obsessive protective nature too, right? That we talked about.
Yeah.
Controlling protective nature. I need to scope out your job. I need to make sure you're safe. I need to make sure that nothing's going to happen to you while you're at work. So that's why I show up. That is definitely a sign of obsessive love disorder.
It is. Oh, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. I am and especially because now you have is that a complex about roses, Dr. Z? Would that be a complex? Because now you have this complex that you're dealing with. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, I had to share that because So beware of the red roses, everybody.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Okay. See, yeah, that would freak me out, especially if I've been clear that I don't want the attention. That would freak me out. And Tim, I will have you know that Dr. Z did shoot the word to me, so I do know that it's erotomania now. I have it written down on my notepad. Okay. I have it written down. Cheryl shares, yes, several times, and I'm being a very frank but caring person, expressed my discomfort. If they did not take me seriously, I would ghost them in a very profound way. I've even had to go to court several times to get a restraining order, letting people know where you live and work can be a problem. Yeah, it really can. You know what? It really, really can. It really can. And Eric is joining us. Hi there, Eric. Just Rick. He shares, hey, Carol and Dr. Z, roses every hour on the hour. Wow, now that's expensive. He shares, and I walked up to the stage to give you yours, Carol. Yes, you did. And the Christmas globe. Yes, you did, which I still have. Listen, it's one of my prized possessions. I love it. Thank you very much. Yes, you did. And Harold shared. Now, Harold, I don't know what that means. What does CCW mean? You have to tell me what that means. I don't. Now, y'all, I tell y'all about sending me these abbreviations. I don't know. But Dr. Z, she brought up something during the commercial break she shared with me because we were talking. We were having just a brief conversation offline. And Dr. Z, you said something that was so profound. Well, please share. Please share.
Yeah, so we were talking about remember a few weeks ago or last month, I don't remember, time flies, right? We were talking about those hot topics, those questions that we should ask during the dating phases, or more importantly, when we realize that we may go from one phase to another with this person. I'm really interested in them. This may be someone that I'm committed to or want to commit to for a long-term relationship. One of those conversations that we have to begin to implement is, how does a person handle their mental health? What does their mental health look like? A lot of times we don't have that conversation, and it's pivotal because you may find out, if that person is comfortable with telling you it, that person may struggle with a mental health disorder that you have to ask yourself, am I comfortable with dealing with in this relationship moving forward? Now, granted, I don't think that's something you just divulge to anyone and everyone that you date, but when you find that I'm interested in this person and this person is interested in me, that should definitely be a conversation that both of you have with each other, just to determine what are some of your struggles. Even us as women, right? Hormones. How do you deal with when your hormones fluctuate? What does that look like for you? How can I support you with that? Because now, if I get into a relationship with someone, I've been in this relationship with them for a year, 2 years now, and it's one thing not to know if the person didn't know they had the mental health disorder, but let's just say they did know and you didn't know about it. It's going to be harder to walk away from that relationship once you've already gotten into it than finding out in the beginning and making a conscious decision to say, yes, this is something I want to deal with you and work through with you. And so I think we have to start to find creative ways to implement that into our conversations when we realize that this is someone I want to be with.
I think that it's interesting to me. So, Dr. Z, when would you suggest having that conversation?
I would say when I realize that this is someone that I am serious about, this is someone that I now feel okay with expressing some level of vulnerability with. This is someone who I could see myself with for maybe the rest of my life or whatever that looks like for me. When I know it has now gone from getting to know you to just dating to now a more serious level of dating, I think that should be a conversation that's had, because I've seen a lot of times where people have had, let's say, even a personality disorder that they were struggling with, and then in a relationship, they just thought maybe it was just arguments, right? Or just different ups and downs of the relationship, but only to find out later that the arguments and the disagreements or the friction in a relationship is not just because of conflict of us learning each other, it's because this person is struggling with a mental health disorder that you didn't realize existed.
See, that's what I feel like. Having that conversation might have to take place earlier than when you have emotions involved, when that might be a early stage, because that's a huge responsibility, and you need to be honest with yourself and that individual about whether that's something you can handle yourself or take on.
Yeah, Carol, you know my take is tricky. It's tricky because the person has to feel comfortable sharing that. in the early stages of dating, if I can say, or getting to know, and they may not feel comfortable with that. So expecting them to disclose it so early may not be okay for them.
Right.
However, on the flip side of that, before I get my feelings involved and become,
and then you flip out, right?
Right, give me the opportunity to say, I don't know if I can deal with that. So
because
it's a very challenging dance, but it's definitely something I think should be discussed.
Yes.
It's probably
Look,
relationship to relationship. I would
you
say
s-
it should be discussed on date number 3 if you give it up to me.
Listen, number 2 for me. I'm all right. You hear me? You hear me? You hear me? Well, maybe even before we get to the date, maybe during the talking phase, maybe when we're talking, that should be a part of the conversation before we even meet, face to face for the first time. Let's
Listen.
talk about that. Listen, I'm sorry. You hear me? I couldn't even hold it in. I was trying to get it out while you were talking because my thought process. Let me share this with you, family. I'm thinking, okay. So I meet a man and we're talking and I decide, okay, I really like this guy. Okay, I might want to start spending some time with him. But suppose, here we start spending some time together and he has a disorder or a condition that he's navigating, one with, that he's not shared with me. And here we are, I say something or I trigger him in some way and now he flips out on me. Now, see, where we go then? My reaction might be different to, his action if I have a better understanding of, of his current or past emotional or mental state. Like it might be different. I might have a more of an allowance, or I might say, okay, well, I might handle it differently. Like, you just never know.
Carol, for me, I'm asking the question. I'm asking the question right away, unfortunately, right?
Listen, me too. Listen. When you said that, it made so much sense to me. And wait, I'm sorry, Dr. Z, because just if I could share this really quickly. Remember, I just shared with you, I've had some experiences, and I can think of at least 2 people in particular that I should have asked that question after hello. In retrospect, today I should have said hi. So let me ask you this. I should have gone right there. But given the experiences that I had with those 2 gentlemen, well, those 2 people, let's say that, those 2 men, because I can't call them gentlemen, but those 2 people.
Yeah.
But let me go to our socials, because here I am reliving things and I don't want to do that either. All right. So Eric is sharing, oh Lord, you know what? I know, right? Just Rick shares. Oh Lord. Yes, oh Lord is right. And Tim shares, this young lady tried to turn my friends against me. See, see, now that's another part of crazy too. That's crazy. And Malcolm, oh, thank you. Malcolm is educating me. He shared that Harold is talking about concealed carry. Okay, concealed carry weapon. Okay, I did not put that together. Thank you, Harold. And then he came up, with the slam dunk. Carry concealed weapon permit. Thank you, Harold. Harold shares, see, that's bang bang time. You know what? Harold. Harold said, look, there are no time for words. I don't have anything to say. It's just bang bang time. It's just bang bang time. Cheryl shares, give people time. Don't let them bum rush you. Watch very carefully and have the courage to walk away if need be. Don't be too long suffering. Wait on the Lord. He will make it plain. That right there, Cheryl, let me leave that. Cheryl, I need to leave that up for a second, because that right there is a whole word for me. I'm telling you, you're speaking to me right now. That is a whole word. And I will be honest with you, family. I did have I used to see a relationship for what I wanted it to be and not for what it was. That was my issue. But in doing so, I dealt with more than I should have, because I did not want to accept the relationship for what it truly was. I kept seeing it for, what I wanted it to be, and making excuses for the experiences, for the individual, for the experiences that I had. And that didn't justify those that the actions of those individuals. But in any event, just sharing that right there and waiting on the Lord, make it listen. And he made it so plain, which is why I'm here to talk with you about it today. And I'm able to smile as I'm talking with you about it today. Nick shares. Well, Nick, join the conversation. I don't want you to stay in the background. Join the conversation. Talk to us.
Hey, Carol, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if we were gonna have enough time before we go to break, but I just wanted to say real quickly that I agree with Dr. Z that the earlier that you disclose any sort of mental issues that you're going through or anything like that, the earlier the better, because I think it builds a sense of trust. But the issue is that people don't tend to show their true colors at the beginning. A lot of people like to hide themselves away until they get you into a spot that's comfortable, and then for whatever reason, then they start to, to show their true colors.
They let it all out. Nick, let me tell you something. I could share some experience. I could share with you about that whole scenario right there. That right there. That is what that happened to me. So that right there. OMG. That's what I'm going to say to that. But like you said, we are about to go to a break, but Nick is still in the conversation, family. When we come back, we are going to continue this conversation because it's a loaded one. Okay. So family, stay with us because we will be right back.
Are you ready to party? The party is about to be on. Join us Friday, November 10th for WURD Radio's 20th anniversary celebration, an evening of Black excellence and elegance at the beautiful Fiddler Club in downtown Philadelphia. A cocktail reception gets us started at 6 p.m. Grab a bite, share a toast, or hang out with your favorite WURD host. And in recognition of this milestone birthday, we're bringing together the owners of the nation's 3 remaining Black Talk radio stations, Melody Span Cooper of WVON Chicago, Tavis Smiley of KBLA Los Angeles, and WURD's own CEO Sarah Lomax, exploring the future of Black independent-owned media. We'll have a special live performance with dynamic songstress Carol Riddick, and the house will be rocking with legendary DJ Gary O, spinning music from old school to today. To get your tickets, visit wordradio.com/20th anniversary. And remember, membership has its privileges. For WURD members can still continue to purchase tickets at a discounted rate. Your membership will be verified after purchase. Our 20th anniversary celebration is brought to you by Comcast, Bank of America, United Way, Keystone First, Wells Fargo, United Healthcare, and Mainline Health.
We gon' celebrate and have a good time.
This WURD public service announcement is a reminder that every voice and every vote counts. We are committed to keeping you informed, and we encourage you to participate in the process.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Now, Sarah Lomax, the president of WURD Radio, she said, yes, let us talk about voting. It's a serious topic, so here goes. I register, I vote, I must. Now, I know you said, I've heard you say that before. Yes, I've been saying that for years. I register, I vote, I must. I hope you will join in and say, I register, I vote, I must. Can we do it fast and slowly? Yes, we can. Sometimes we say, I register, I vote, I must. And sometimes we say, I register, I vote, I must. Just keep the pace. Think about it. This is serious. God's blessings to us all. I register, I vote, I must.
This PSA is a part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaborative project of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism, with lead support provided by the William Penn Foundation. Learn more at www.everyvoice-everyvote.org. Editorial content is created independently of the project's donors.
What's silly? How about not participating in Trick or Treat for UNICEF, which lets everyone do some good for children worldwide while celebrating the spooky stuff? Visit trickortreatforunicef.org to make a quick donation or to spread the word that it's time to add some meaning to your Halloweening. That's trickortreatforunicef.org.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We're talking with Dr. Zenida Driver, and we are talking about obsessive love disorder and erotomania. How about that? Look at that. Look at that. It's on my notepad. Before the break, Nick joined the conversation. I love it when Nick joins the conversation. And Nick, when I tell you, Nick shared that he thinks it's a good idea to ask early on. But he also shared that he thinks, there's a good chance that people will just hide that part of themselves because that's typical of habitual abusers. That's what they tend to do. And because they don't show their true colors at the beginning. Let me tell you, I'm an advocate of asking early on, but I've had the experience where the individual did not tell the truth. Did not tell the truth at all, and shared with me after the relationship was over. He said, well, I just thought that you know you just wouldn't leave if I'm like, what? After the relationship, he just felt that I would not end the relationship. He felt that I would if I knew, but that if once we had become, we were in a relationship, that I just wouldn't leave. I would just deal with it. It's like so I didn't have a choice. That basically, so I don't have a choice here. But in any event, because I'm trying to tell you my business, but not tell you my business. So you hear me? Y'all hear me walking around the block to get to the corner. Anyway, Eric shares amen to that one, Nick. And Frey shares, you are so right, Nick. You are so right. Dr. Z, this was a lot.
I told you. And it's common. It's not just talked about, but it's something that a lot of people have experienced at least once. In their life. They may not have experienced all of them that we went through today, but they may have seen or went through maybe small bouts of it, whether it be the flowers every hour, whether it be the constant text messaging and the anger when we don't respond back to the person. Many people experience it. And so it's so important for us to, as you share your stories, Carol, and talk about your past, right? Keep our eyes open. Don't sweep those experiences under the rug, because while you may not be walking around as a walking DSM like myself, but you have had some experiences that give you clear understanding of red flags when you see it, right? You have it, but sometimes we try to forget it. We try to put it in the back of our mind. And now when we go into our next relationships, maybe those same signs is there. Sit with it, as I think it was, who said it? Cheryl said, or about the being patient, taking your time. Take your time. Let things play out. See how they handle difficult conversations. See how they handle anger and frustration. Let it play out. Don't let it stop, because when I see how you handle it, that is raw data for me to use to say, okay, I don't like this. Okay, something doesn't feel right here. Okay, I need to walk away from this because I went through this before and I am not going through it again. And some people say, well, it's different. No, if it didn't feel good for you before, it won't feel good for you again. So as they said, the caller said, or on the socials, don't be afraid to walk away for something that doesn't fit well for you.
Yeah. Oof, that right there. Cheryl said, don't be too long suffering. That's what she typed. That right there. Again, and then she followed it by typing, wait on the Lord, because he will definitely make it plain. That right there is a whole word right there. If we didn't say anything else. Now, I can't tell. Harold, listen, you know what Harold is preaching. Harold said, bang, bang. Listen, Harold.
I mean, I think bang, bang, or just ask the conversations, as Nick said, as soon as possible, right? I want to know, what's your thoughts on therapy? I want to know, what's your thoughts around a healthy mental health?
Right.
What's your thoughts around, tell me about your family. Tell me about some childhood experiences that were good and bad. And listen, because when you listen actively listen, you will learn a lot. But sometimes, like you said, Carol, we don't actively listen. We want the relationship to be what we want it to be, only to be disappointed later. A lot of times, the things that people get divorced from was the same thing they didn't like about the person before they got married to them.
I have one question for you, and I'm looking at the time, so I know. But typically, like, I was always told growing up that to watch for how a man treats his mother, because that gives you a good indication of who he is and how he'll treat you, or how he is, how he is toward women, and how he'll treat you. I'm curious to know, number one, if you're familiar with that saying, and number two, what your thoughts are.
I think that has some truth to it. I think you know, that's their first love. That's where attachment is first established between that parent and child. So I think you do get some raw data or some rich information by looking at that relationship. Not only do you get to see how he treats his mother, but you also get to see if the relationship is healthy between him and his mother, or vice versa, her and her father, right? You get to see that, because what if it's an enmeshed relationship that's not healthy, where, lack of a better way of saying this, he's a mama's boy. So now you're going to be competing between love between mom and you. So yes, I think any meaningful childhood relationships and what that looks like is important. That is rich information and a conversation that should always be had. Tell me about your childhood. Tell me about the relationship with your father, your mother, your guardian, who raised you, who was pivotal to your life, who was there for you during tough times. What did that look like? That will tell you a lot, because that'll help you teach you what they learned and how they learned to survive.
And Tim asks, what if the mother is not around? And you did just say about who the guardian is. Or now, my question in response to that is, does it matter as it pertains to a man or a woman? Because you have that maternal influence, and that maternal and paternal influence. So if, as a woman, if I'm looking to see, looking for a man, like how he treats a person who cared for me, if there wasn't a female around, would I then look to see how, if there were men who raised him, would I look at that to see how
was there another integral male in that person's life? Sometimes it may not be a dad. Maybe it's a dad-like figure. Sometimes it may not be a mom. Maybe it's a godmother. Maybe it's an aunt. Maybe it's someone else who showed up for him or her in a way that their parent didn't show up for them, right? So the kicker to it, and what you're trying to do when you have these initial conversations, is connect dots. Because as you hear me say often, our childhood influences our adult ways of interacting in the world. We can't eliminate it. Whether it was good or bad, it's a part of who we are today. So I want to know about that. I want to hear about that. I want to have those conversations. When you go to therapy, that's what if you go to couples therapy, that's what a couples therapist is going to do. They're going to help you understand each other in a deeper way.
So hi there, Miss Rosalind. She's joining us. Hi there, beautiful. She shares, if a man treats his mother right, he will treat you right and will put you on a high pedestal. She said, a mother knows. Rowena Brown, that is, hi there. Hi, beautiful. She's sharing, don't be so in love where you cannot identify that the person doesn't love you. I know. Listen, how about that? Don't lose yourself. I don't even want to stop having this conversation, because I feel like there's so much more left to talk about. I do.
I told you, Carol. I told
you. You did. Listen.
You couldn't have did this in 1 hour.
No, Dr. Z said it. She said, okay, so I think that I'm going to be with you for the entire show, because this is not a 1 hour conversation. And she was so right. She was so right. And thank you for that, Dr. Z. She said, look, I know what I'm doing. I know this is what I do. But thank you, as always. I mean, really, thank you. Because like I said, it's so easy to talk with you, because I appreciate your delivery, the delivery of your response. And I appreciate how you help us through these topics. Oh, wait, Tim said, okay, so there's a part 2. There must be a part 2. And the beautiful Miss Rosalind shares, hi, Dr. Z, we love you unconditionally. I missed it, but I'm going to listen later. So Dr. Z, maybe we do need to continue this conversation.
Maybe we'll come back with, I have another one. So we'll come back with another one. Every listener is going to be a mental health expert from our Thursday conversations. They're going to
I love it. Okay, I love it. So, Dr. Z, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you as always. And we look forward to seeing you, God willing, next week. We'll see you whenever the Lord allows. Okay.
Yes.
How about that? Thank you so much, Dr. Z. See you next time.
Yeah.
Family. Oh my goodness. This was full, wasn't it? Woo, this was a full conversation. As I exhale, decompress. Family, just praise God from whom all blessings. Thank you another second, another minute, another hour, another day to just glorify you and to share some time, some energy, some spirit, some tenderness, some love. I love you, family, but God loves you so much more. I tell you that every day because I mean it, and I want you to put that in your pocket. Thank you to Dr. Z. Thank you to all of you who contributed to the conversation. Thank you to our callers, those who commented on our socials. Thank you to the entire WURD family, especially Niall Jax and Nick Steptoe for all that you do. And thank you, Nick, for joining the conversation tonight. I hope you'll continue to do so. Family, we are all in this together. Don't you forget that. So be good to you, but also be good to those around you. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend, family. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Good night, family.